Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the match reaction from the Carabao Cup quarter-final as Chelsea advanced one step closer to Wembley with a 4-2 victory on penalties against Newcastle. And you know what? We deserved it. We made hard work of it for sure, but there was only one team that really deserved to win that game on the balance of play, and that was us. And, we kept going right to the end. We get that goal in the last minute through Mudryk, and then we're ice cold from the penalty spot, 4 phenomenal penalties, and we get the job done. But a massive, massive moment last night. Stamford Bridge was rocking. Hadn't seen it like that for quite a long time. It's certainly the first time a lot of these players would have seen it like that as well. And we need more of those moments. Conor Gallagher was saying afterwards, we need more of those moments. Well, we're into the semi-finals. It's one step closer to Wembley. We're getting one step closer again to another trophy. Mudryk and Petrovic, the heroes. Christopher Nkunku makes his debut as well, which is a big, big plus. There's loads to get into, guys. Latest on Enzo Fernandez, another fantastic performance from Conor Gallagher. The subs making the difference last night. Roma have made a proposal for Trevor Chalobah on loan. Chelsea are about to sign another 17-year-old. He was at the ground last night. A Senegalese holding midfield player. We'll dive into that. Another fantastic performance from Moises Caicedo. How big is this for Pochettino? Petrovic having a good game. There's loads and loads to get into, guys, but we are into the Carabao Cup semi-finals, and it's now 2 wins in a row. It's been a good start to the week, following on from the win at the weekend. But I'll be honest, I was a little bit concerned. We go a goal down, Sunday league defending from Colwell and Badiashile, and masters of our own downfall again. And I'm thinking, no, we're not playing that badly. We're not playing that badly. But it just felt like, we were creating opportunities. We weren't putting the ball in the back of the net. It felt like we'd seen that script before too many times. And then suddenly, a mistake from Trippier. Mudryk's there to pounce. Great finish. And then we get ourselves to the penalty, and we're good from there. We are good from there. But yeah, look, ultimately, there's things that I was a bit concerned about. There are things that weren't great last night, but the cup and knockout football is all about getting through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about how you play. It's all about getting through. And we're in the hat for the next round, along with Middlesbrough and Fulham. And then we see what happens tonight with Liverpool and West Ham. So, yeah, look, I'm delighted we're through. We made hard work of it. It's never easy with this team, but ultimately, only one, in my opinion, one team deserved to go through. And on the balance, the team that deserved to go through went through. Newcastle came with a game plan. They didn't really come. I don't really feel they came to try and win that game. I felt, they came to try and nick a goal, whether on a counter or from a set piece or through a mistake. They got that. And then, as they're entitled to do, they just sat back and defended for the rest of the game. And it almost worked out for them. But ultimately, only one team was trying to win that game of football. And in my opinion, that was us. Newcastle were very, very close. But I felt, on the balance, it was a fair result in terms of us going through. Because I just don't feel Newcastle offered very much. Not that they had to, but I just don't feel that they offered a lot in that front. But yeah, big up everyone as well that's locked in already. Keep smashing that like button, run it up, people. We need at least 50 likes minimum. That's always the first port of call. Over 20 in the building already, so let's keep running these numbers up. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat, and then we'll dive into things in a bit more detail. Should we change to a 3-2-5 formation against Wolves? I'll get into that a bit later. Yes, Jamie, big up. Yeah, all good today, all good. Great night last night. Great night last night. We needed that. We absolutely needed that. The fans needed it. The players needed it. And the manager needed it as well. Yep, Stamford Bridge hopefully turned into a fortress again. Yes, big up Michael. Yeah, we just about did it. We got the job done. It doesn't matter how you get it done. You just get it done. And Nkunku back on the pitch as well after 4 months was a big plus. Yes, mate. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. I get it from a perspective of it's the weakest team left in the draw. But in terms of a midweek away trip for a first or second leg, that's long. That's not what I'm wanting. I'll take Fulham over that. Yes, big up my guy. Well deserved win. Must take the momentum forward. Absolutely. Yep, I'd like Liverpool to go out tonight as well, but I don't think we can be relying on West Ham to do us a favour. We got to back ourselves. We got to back ourselves. Yes, big up. I'm going to dive into that, but yeah, I don't understand why he's seemingly suddenly reverted back to that way of operating. It doesn't make any sense. Yep, you should have had the player sent off after 2 minutes. What about Guimaraes kicking out as well? I know it was towards the end of the game, but he should have been sent off. I don't think we were lucky. Yeah, look, Newcastle weren't horrendous by any means at all. I don't think we were lucky to go through. You could say that a last-minute goal was lucky. It was lucky in terms of we capitalised on a mistake, but then your goal was a gift from us. Other than that, didn't really create any opportunities. So, look, you could probably say on the balance that going to penalties was a fair result on how the game panned out, and then penalties is just a lottery from there. We definitely need a number 9. Yeah, I mean that's a couple of games now. Sterling's been done for diving, but yeah, no, Newcastle will be back for sure. A decent side, but away form has to improve for Newcastle because home form is fantastic, one of the best sides in the league at home, but for whatever reason, the team's nowhere near as good away from home. So that's certainly, I mean, obviously Newcastle fans know this, but that's certainly an area that Newcastle needs to improve upon if they're going to consistently challenge, for top 4 and try and win a trophy. Away form has to get better. Yes, people. Yep, come on, guys. You guys know what to do. You guys are good at this stuff, but we need to run it up. We need to run it up ASAP. What else is being said in the chat? No, I wouldn't say so, mate. I wouldn't say so, not in my opinion. But I'm going to talk about fullbacks and stuff because, it makes such a difference to how you play. It makes such a difference. I don't know. Maybe half an hour. He played 15 minutes. Maybe give him half an hour. First half wasn't great. Yeah, no, for sure. There probably should have been at least one red card aside. It was refreshing last night in terms of no VAR, in terms of like not having to worry about celebrating a goal in case it gets chalked off. But at the same time, you can see why it's there because there probably should have been 2 or 3 red cards in that game last night. Caicedo, a lucky boy, you could argue. The same with Bruno Guimaraes, and there could have easily been a couple of yellow cards. But Gusto obviously wasn't fit to start. We know what we're like with bringing players back. We eased them back, and he played 2 minutes at the weekend in stoppage time against Sheffield United. He clearly wasn't fit to start. He came on at half time. And he made a massive difference. Look, the Colwell at left back thing I agree with, but it's clear that Marston's not fancied. Poch doesn't rate him as a left back. He's going to be sold in January. But yeah, look, as long as if we can get one fullback fit and firing just on one side, then that for me absolutely makes a big difference. Yes, Peace Treaty, big up from Jamaica. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out in Jamaica. I wouldn't be too mad if we drew Liverpool. They'll have no Salah. Agreed, there'll be no Salah because it's in January, both legs. So, yeah, that's also true. If Poch plays him short, or if Hall comes back, Hall's not going to come back. The stipulation for Newcastle's move for Hall to become permanent is that they don't finish below 12th in the table. And that simply isn't going to happen. So Hall will be a Newcastle player. Eddie Howe just don't rate Lewis Hall right now. I don't know what's going on at Newcastle, but he doesn't rate him. He didn't even get off the bench last night. Newcastle have been like making no subs in games, and Hall still can't get minutes. It's a mad one. We played very well. Yeah, look, I wouldn't say very well, but we actually were a lot better than a lot of fans will make you to believe. We made an individual mistake, but we were the ones that were in charge of that game, and eventually we got the breakthrough that we deserved. When you keep going, you make your own luck, and you get that little bit of luck, and that's exactly what we got. I've got a feeling we'll get to the final and lose to West Ham. I hope not, mate. I hope not. That would be terrible. Gusto has to start against Wolves. Yeah. No, I'm sure he will. Chelsea till I die, big up. Look, he wasn't feeling that well. He said he wanted to play and give it a go. They gave it a go, and it didn't happen. It is what it is. Bruno Guimaraes didn't even get a yellow. Yep. The pure profit excuse of them trying to balance the books since they messed up in the transfer. Yeah, no, it is. That's exactly the only reason that Conor Gallagher would even think about being sold. Is purely financial. It is purely financial. Yeah, we do. We need more games. This team needs to be playing more games. It's nice to have a midweek game, and it's nice around the Christmas period when the fixtures come thick and fast. But yeah, agreed with Mudryk needing to start. Gusto was great yesterday. Penalties were all good. Guys, there's loads and loads of stuff coming through in the chat. I can't read all of it, otherwise we'll be here all day and I won't be able to talk about anything I want to talk about. But if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, please do use the super chat function. But I will get through as many things in the chat as I can. But yeah, let's talk about the situation right now. The substitutions, etc. last night, which made a big difference to this team. And it started obviously with, and we know that Enzo went off early, Amanda Broja came on, but it started with obviously the substitution of Levi Colwell at halftime. He wasn't having the best game at left back, if we're being perfectly honest. Colwell was asked after the game if he came off for tactical reasons. Yeah, I think so. Obviously worked within the game on pens and obviously coming back at the same time. I'm really happy for the team. Now, for me, this is where the big difference was made with how we were playing. That first half there were no overlapping fullbacks. There was no width from those fullbacks. That's what you're going to get when you play centre halves at fullback. You just don't get the width, you don't get the overlap, and you are massively limited in what you can do. It was a lack of width. A lack of width was a real problem in that first half. And for a manager, in Poch, who was, he's well known for bombing fullbacks. At Spurs, Danny Rose and Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, they were huge attacking threats. They offered width, overlaps, etc. on each side. But under Poch so far, that's not been the case. We've lined up with a back four centre backs, Disasi at right back, Cole at left back again. And then obviously Broja came on after Enzo Fernandez after half an hour, and Jackson shifted out wide. But the problem with this, people, having the four centre backs at the back, is that we're very flat in wide areas. Both fullbacks are unnatural at offering the overlap, as you'd expect, because they're centre halves. And that allowed, the Newcastle defenders to just pin us back against the touchline. And, they could get to the ball and then shuffle backwards and reset. It was annoying. It was the back four was set in a back four. Caicedo was playing that centre pivot, and then Gallagher would push up with Palmer to try and get the ball between the lines and whatnot. But we had problems at both ends. The gaps between the wingers and the fullbacks was too big. And Newcastle were constantly finding the gap between the two as their outball. And it also meant, that we couldn't create 2v1 overloads out wide to try and isolate the Newcastle fullbacks. And on the rare occasion that we did do it, we ended up with Disasi trying to in a crossing position, which is not optimal for good chance creation. That is the problem for me. That is not optimal for good chance creation, guys. Absolutely not in that position. But once he made the change at halftime, switching Colwell for Gusto and Gusto playing at left back, Gusto was the difference maker for me in this game. Absolute difference maker. Gusto comes on at left back and it affected every aspect of the game, guys. This for me was obviously the Mudryk and Martin changes in the last 15 minutes made a big change as well. But the Gusto one is the thing that made the biggest difference for this team, because it affected all aspects of the game. It's more, look, we know what the benefits of having natural attacking fullbacks are in this area of the pitch. He pushed high, he was wide, he's overlapping Jackson, and it's providing that width on the left-hand side. That could then afford Jackson to kind of drift into the middle from the left, and it kind of created more of a front two alongside Broja. Then Palmer was in behind, and Sterling was kind of floating in off that right-hand side. And during the build-up, it was really important as well, because unlike Colwell and Disasi, Gusto's got that ability to drive forward, and he escapes that initial Newcastle press, and he gets us into the opposition half much more quickly and much more efficiently. And that also allowed us to sustain pressure in the Newcastle half a bit more. The structure was they're close. The distances were closer between the wingers and the fullbacks. the ball we were able to turn the ball over faster as well. There was no longer the space for Newcastle to receive the ball between our wingers and fullbacks, and the team was able to counter press with really good effectiveness. So that is the one that for me is the big difference there in playing. And who would have thought, playing fullbacks in their actual positions would make such a big difference. But that is exactly the difference that it did make. And I think Poch will now realise. I'm sure that he knows this anyway. But if fullbacks are fit, get them on the fucking pitch playing, because it makes such a difference to how we play having that attacking outlet. It really, really does. So that for me was a big key point last night. It's not really Colwell's fault he's out of position in the system. Yeah, no, it's not his fault. Of course it's not. But, obviously there is a left back in Martson, but obviously the gaffer doesn't see him as one. Yes, big up, mate. The boys proved me wrong. It's so frustrating when Martson, who's clearly a good fullback, is benched in favour of centre backs. Mate, it was always going to happen. Poch doesn't see him as a left back, and I don't think Poch really rates him that much either. If I'm being brutally honest. Look, Disasi was only playing there because Gusto wasn't fit to start. Now that Gusto seems fit and ready to go, I wouldn't expect to see Disasi at right back anymore. I certainly think Gusto will start there against Wolves. And then obviously Colwell, I think, will continue at left back because Chilwell and Cucurella are injured and Poch doesn't rate Martson. So, yeah. Osimhen is needing badly. I don't know about Osimhen. We're going to dive into that striker stuff a bit later as well. I would change to a 3-2-5 formation on Sunday. That's kind of what we did when Nkunku came on. Chile needs to come back strong. Otherwise, for me, he loses his spot. Colwell was average yesterday, but out of position. Colwell's not a fullback. Let's be honest, guys. This is really hampering the team by having to play players out of position. I feel that Pochettino is not helping himself when we've got a situation where players are being played out of position. They're being misprofiled. That really isn't a helpful situation at all. But look, the subs made the big difference. Gusto was, for me, the difference maker. And then you got the super subs as well in Mykhailo Mudryk coming on for a big difference, and Christopher Nkunku's debut as well. I mean, it's interesting about Nkunku's debut. Like, as soon as he came on, we straight away reverted to kind of what we've been doing in pre-season. That sort of 3-5-2, as it were. We've been playing with Nkunku, and it just looks like, there maybe the whole thing was planned around Nkunku. The whole system was planned around Nkunku. It's madness. It is funny though, isn't it? It's like, as soon as he came on yesterday, we immediately went back to that 3-2-5 we played really well in pre-season, and we looked a lot more threatening. And I honestly think the gaffer's built his whole system around him. I really do think the gaffer's built the whole system around him. It must be said that overlapping fullbacks is a key part of this, and we just haven't had Reece James fit for enough of the season. We haven't had what's his name, Ben Chilwell, fit enough, and when he has been playing, Poch just deployed him as a fucking left winger, not a left back that often. If we can just have a situation where we can get Chile and Gusto or Chile and Reece and have two overlapping fullbacks, attacking fullbacks on the pitch, this is going to make such a big difference to this team. But the subs last night were absolutely the difference that we needed. Absolutely the difference that we needed. And you know what? Now that players are starting to come back to fitness again, you're seeing that this squad has got quality, and we are going to end up having some decent options from the bench. And we do have game changers. We absolutely have game changers. We still got Lavia to come back. We still got Chukwuemeka to come back. We've got Chilwell to come back. Reece James eventually as well. We've still got a lot of players to come back, and we've still got, opportunities for this team to further improve as well. The January window's coming up and all that. Lavia hopefully back in the next few weeks. Hopefully back for a game at some point this year. It would be mad if he wasn't. Hopefully he is. But yeah, it has to be said that last night the subs did make a big difference, and now Poch needs to make sure that when fullbacks are fit and available, that they are played in their proper positions. That for me is the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing for me. It just makes such a big difference. But we don't always seem to have them fit. But yeah, that for me, that was the main thing with the match. Other than that, there wasn't much in it. We dominated large parts of it. We had a lot of possession. We didn't do an awful lot with it. We didn't create that many chances. But at that one moment, we needed someone to be alert. Mudryk was alert. And then in the penalty shootout, it was kind of a different story. We were ice cold from the spot. But the big thing that everyone was looking forward to was Christopher Nkunku's debut. And if we're being brutally honest, in the 15 minutes or so that he was on the pitch in the 90, he didn't do an awful lot. Didn't get a lot of the ball. There was one opportunity where if Sterling could have played a simple 5-yard pass properly, he would have had a good opportunity on goal, but that wasn't to be the case. But his introduction gave a massive lift to the crowd. I think it's probably gave a lift to the players on the pitch as well. And yeah, this is the first of many appearances for him. We got to ease him back in, as we know. As far as debuts go, it was kind of fairly uneventful in terms of what he did on the pitch. But considering how long he's been out for him to just come up in that shootout and smash a penalty like that, top bins, fair play to him. I mean, the quality of the penalties, by the way, yesterday was right. They were class. I mean, Palmer's penalty right into the corner, Gallagher and Nkunku top bins, and Mudryk just casually rolling it into the opposite corner. These are all good. These are all things that bode well for us. These are all things that do bode really well for us, guys. It really is. And look, the penalties for me were top class, but it can go one of two ways. I wouldn't have been surprised if we'd ended up missing 2 or 3, but we ended up scoring all of them. It's a good sign that these young guys in a pressurized environment and pressure moment, they didn't fold under the pressure, and it was the more experienced players from Newcastle that folded under that pressure. So yeah, it's boding well. We're into the semi-finals, and I'll be honest, I think we deserve it. Honestly, I really do think that we deserve it. Washington's not good enough right now. He's not good enough right now. He barely played like a full season in Santos. He's not ready for that step up yet, and he's not good enough right now either. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. It definitely gave everyone a big boost. We were flagging at that point. We really were flagging. But yeah, he gave us the boost, and we managed to get the job done, which is the most important thing. Yeah, they were class, and Petrovic with a fantastic save. I'm going to get onto Petrovic a little bit later on, guys. But yeah, a brilliant performance from him as well. Yeah, the 8s as 10s. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. What's going on at the moment, and what he's doing. We need to hope that he stops doing that. 100%, we need to hope that he stops doing that, because that is not what we're wanting. That is absolutely not what we're wanting. By the way, guys, keep smashing the like button. We need 20 more likes to hit 50 likes. That's always the minimum target, guys. Keep smashing the like button. There are 40 people in the building. Run this up, guys. 20 more likes, to 50. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds. And I really appreciate it. It massively helps me out on the channel. It spreads the stream in the algorithm, gets more eyes on the channel. So please smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Just hit that thumbs up. It's free and it takes seconds. If you haven't subscribed, by the way, guys, hit the subscribe button as well. On the road to 8,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber does really help. But yeah, in Nkunku's debut, I think gave a big lift to everyone. And it kind of shows that, maybe we are going to see more of this sort of 3-2-5 formation that we have been seeing, in the pre-season that works so well. Maybe we're going to now finally see more of that in in the games going on for the rest of the season. You know, so yeah, it's good. I'm delighted to see him. Absolutely delighted to finally see him in a Chelsea shirt. You know, these were his numbers from his debut. I mean, as we were saying, you know, nothing nothing amazing. But if you look at the stats here, 21 minutes played, 11 touches, 8 out of 9 passes completed. One is only aerial. Only had 1 touch in the opposition box, and he had 1 shot. So it's nothing amazing, but it's just the boost that it gives the place. It's just the boost it gives the place is so important, and it really lifted Stamford Bridge. And yeah, it was brilliant. I was absolutely delighted to see him. Glad I was there to see his debut. It's always good when you see a player play for the first time. I mean, I was lucky enough to be there for Enzo Fernandez's Chelsea debut, and many others as well. But yeah, look, great to see him. This is the start. This is the start of many. So yeah, let's wait and see what does happen on that front, guys. But yeah, delighted to see Nkunku, and I think he's going to really make a big difference in that attack once he gets more used to it, once he settles into the team. The thought of Nkunku, Palmer, Mudryk, these guys all kind of linking up together. You know, it's got the prospect of something, you know, of something very good. Opposition defenses should be scared of that. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, you know, whether we get an elite level striker in January or the summer. Again, that can lift this team further. You know, things are looking on the up slightly, but there is still, make no mistake about it, there is still an awful lot of work to do in this team. Absolutely is. Nkunku kept it nice and tidy, just what he was meant to do. Yeah, exactly. This is good for Poch, but still needs to do better. No, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, guys, mate. Yeah, of course, the people know to subscribe. The people know to subscribe, guys. Petrovic should be our new number 1. I mean, let's reserve it for a few more games. But I think if he carries on, then absolutely, you know, that there's a conversation to be had there. That we won when he looked up and saw the whole squad sprinting at him. Yeah. I don't think he was too sure. Yes, big up to Michael, who has become a member. Greatly appreciated. Thanks for all your support of the channel. Guys, if you want to become a channel member, hit the link in the description below, people. You can join for $1.99 a month. As we build up more members, there will be member-only shows. So yeah, guys, feel free to hit the link in the description, join a channel member. Just $1.99 a month. It helps myself out, helps the channel out. So yeah, if you're feeling generous, guys, hit that link in the description and become a channel member. Yeah, quite possibly. You know, when we first see the balloon celebration, it's going to be a special one. But let's move away from Christopher Nkunku, guys, and a couple of other players that I want to give a special mention to. I think last night for me was absolutely massive for Mykhailo Mudryk. You know, I've been a massive advocate of his from day one. I think there's so much ability with him. He's still raw. Decision making needs to improve. Footballing IQ needs to get better. These are all things that can get better. But you know, he comes on and he made a difference last night. He absolutely made a difference. He was alert for the Trippier mistake. He's running onto that, and it's a difficult finish. You know, it's bobbling. It's the first time finish running onto it, and he strokes it nicely into the corner. It's a big moment for him. It's a massive moment for him. And now, you know, Mudryk's really kicked on from last season. He's grabbed a few goals in the league. He's affecting games more. And I was absolutely delighted for him. And do you know what? Like, the Chelsea fans love him. There's a patience with him as well, because people can see his ability and can see that, you know, he's got what it takes to become a top player. And, you know, when you see someone try and they give their all, you know, you're going to be more patient with that. You're absolutely going to be more patient with that. And I think people have got a lot of time. They got a lot of time for players like Mudryk, because they work hard, they get their head down, and they will always give 100% on the pitch, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. I don't know. I think it was a cross from Gusto, and I think it just I don't really know what happened. Couldn't really see that well. Yeah, the blue balloons are going to hit differently. But Mudryk, again, talking about it after the game, obviously it means a lot. Sometimes things happen when you trust in each other and believe until the end. All is possible. Sometimes when the game is tough, you need to keep pushing and believe until the last second, because it's football and everything can happen. Our gaffer said we're going to try to win this title before this game. After this game, our plans haven't changed. We're looking forward. We will try to win this title. In my humble opinion, we are in the right direction. We have to trust the process, our gaffer and each other. We have a really strong team. Sometimes to win something big, we need time. I absolutely agree. But yeah, I'm delighted with the progress that Mudryk is making this season. He's making a big difference to this team. He really is. And look, I know there are Sterling fans in it. I don't rate Sterling massively. Sterling just doesn't do enough, for a player that's, been there, done it all, got the t-shirt in terms of winning things and, and playing in the Premier League and whatnot. He's so inconsistent. You're getting the inconsistencies from Sterling that you'd expect to get from fucking, players like Mudryk, players like Mudryk and stuff like that. You shouldn't be getting these levels of inconsistencies from Raheem Sterling. You absolutely shouldn't. But that is kind of, where we're at right now. That's kind of where we're at, people. I honestly think Sterling's, I don't want to say, his best years are behind him, but I honestly think they might, they could well be. They could well be. So, I mean, yeah, I'm so happy for Mudryk. I really am delighted for him. I absolutely am delighted for him. Guys, what I'm not delighted about is the fact we still haven't hit 50 likes. There's 10 more likes required. Come on, guys. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Let's do this, people. All you got to do is smash that like button. It's free and it takes seconds. So please do that. I always believed in him. Sterling needs to go as better at City. He's different at City because he's playing in a different system. But yeah, I do agree with on that sentiment to a degree. Yeah, Mudryk is going to get there. There's so much ability there. The club fully believe in him as well. And nights like last night are going to go on, and they're going to make a big difference. They absolutely are. Big up to Brian coming through the donation again. Big up, my guy. That's Petrovic full time. Sanchez going to stay warm in that bench. Great win. Yeah, it was a great win. We ground it out. That's what you've got to do sometimes. As I've been saying, the cup's all about getting through. Doesn't matter how you play, but we dug in. We ground it out. And we made our own luck there at the end. And Petrovic, certainly, if he continues performing in the way that he has been, has got every chance of, making that number one position his own. And Sanchez will have to try and earn that shirt back. Because, there should be no right, unless Petrovic is dropping howlers, that Sanchez should just walk straight back into this team. That absolutely shouldn't happen. But, yeah, on Mudryk, for me now, I know there's going to be rotation over the Christmas period, and there certainly has been in December so far. Mudryk has to be starting games. He has to be starting games. Really, for me, it's as simple as that. Mudryk must be starting games, people. He has to be. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, it is a mad one, people. It is a mad one. Mudryk has to start Sunday. I agree on that. Gallagher's agent needs to talk with Chelsea to stay there. Absolutely. Big up to my guy coming through as well with another donation. We have always backed Mudryk, unlike others. Yeah, bro, I will back players constantly until I get proven, until it's proven wrong or they leave. People don't take into account a lot of things when judging a football player. They just don't get it. They simply just don't seem to get it. Petrovic didn't do anything until that. Yeah, he didn't have anything to do. He didn't have anything to do. Yes, big up to Ross. I don't think people realise the jump from the Ukrainian league to the Premier League. No, they absolutely don't. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I just say kind of what I feel and how I see it. He absolutely has huge quality. People are forgetting this guy still hasn't been here for a season yet. He still hasn't been here for a year. He joined sort of in the middle of January. Coming from the Ukrainian league, coming into a Chelsea that was was a massive mess. 40 odd players at the club, all sorts of nonsense going on. That's not an easy environment to be successful in. It really isn't. So yeah, I'm delighted for him, absolutely delighted for him. And nights like last night, are going to be massive for him, massive for his confidence as well. Mudryk's confidence high right now. Yeah, no, he was. I mean, his English lessons are going well. He's speaking better English now as well. Yeah, you can tell that everyone loves him as well. Like the boys are delighted for him. Front three of Mudryk and Nkunku and Palmer. Yeah, I hear it. Although, yeah, with Gallagher just behind or whatever it might be. Absolutely. Some really good stuff. Some really good stuff. We're not a million miles away from things working out. We really aren't. We're not a million miles away at all. But at the same time, we're not that close either. So yeah, we things need to improve. We know things need to improve, but people, we are getting there. We are getting there. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot on his mind right now. Absolutely, he does. But yeah, delighted for Mudryk. I've always believed in him. He deserves to start, as Chelsea Rogers says. He should be starting over Sterling, in my opinion. I would have started Mudryk last night. There was one report saying that what is it? That apparently Mudryk was going to come on for Enzo, but apparently they weren't happy with the fact that he wasn't really ready to come on, so they went with Broja instead. I don't know how true that is. And then he didn't end up coming on to the end, but he still came when he made a difference. I don't know how true that was. That was one thing in the Daily Mail suggesting that might have possibly been the case. I'm not too sure. That team love each other and support each other. Let's a little bit of time, it'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, big up to Son of River coming through with the donation. The super chats are flying in tonight, guys. Appreciate all the love and support. Great content. Like your positivity. Thank you. It was a great win. Yeah, mate. Thank you for your support. Greatly appreciate it. It's a great win. No, we haven't had much to celebrate in recent times. If you can't enjoy it, if you can't enjoy the wins, then what are you doing? I don't care how the wins come. I will always enjoy a win because that's what we celebrate. That's what we celebrate. That's what we follow football for, to enjoy the winning. And if you can't enjoy the winning, if you spend more time moaning after a win, then yeah, that's not for me. That way of going on, that's not for me. No, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate your support as well. Big yourself up. Big support of the channel, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It is greatly appreciated, mate. Yes, big up to the Dearest Devil coming through with a €2 donation. Big up, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate your support as always. It's the fact he gets you off your seat. That's what people want to see. And as for the slight mistakes he makes, well, he'll improve. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what it is with him, right? I don't care if he makes mistakes because, he might have 5 situations and make a mistake 4 times. But on that 5th time, he'll do something that might win you the game. And you don't mind that when you've got players like that. Absolutely. Imagine if we win the next 4 games, we'll be number 6. Please, let's hope Poch does something. Yeah, look, I'm not getting carried away with this game. We did what we needed to do. We got through. But the real stuff is going to tell in the Premier League games and whatnot. In those Premier League games, that's going to be the most important thing. Getting that consistency again in the Premier League. Yeah, this is an important cup as well. But yeah, delighted with this. And in terms of the Carabao Cup as well, I know people kind of laugh about it, Mickey Mouse Cup and all that stuff. But this is really important because 1, it's one of only 2 trophies that we could possibly win this season. 2, it gives us a route into Europe, which we might not get through the league. So it's great on that front. Thirdly, would be a first trophy in England for Poch. It'll be a first trophy for this new ownership, and it'll be a first trophy for this new group of players. And that breeds that winning confidence. That it gives you that winning mentality. It proves that this group can win together. And then because the final's in Feb or March, he then got an opportunity to use that as another springboard to finish the season on a high. The Carabao Cup is so important to Chelsea this season, you know. And people say, oh, you know, big clubs don't take it seriously. It's always the big teams that end up winning it. So, you know, something obviously isn't quite making sense on that front. It's always the big clubs that tend to end up winning, you know, that end up winning this League Cup. So, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one, but it is what it is, people. It is what it is, guys. You know, there's not much else we can do about that. But yeah, look, the cup will be massive. You know, we need a domestic trophy, guys. We're starving for domestic silverware. Just silverware in general, but domestic silverware, we are hungry, guys. We're hungry for it. Guys, we're only 3 likes away from 50 likes. Make sure you keep smashing that like button, guys. Let's get this up and beyond 50 likes. Come on, people. There's still over 40 of you in the building. There's no excuses not to hit 50 likes within the next 2-3 seconds, really. So please keep running it up. I know there's people in there that haven't smashed that like button, so make sure that you are doing that, guys. Make sure you're doing it because it's free and it's really helpful. What else have we got going on here? I want to move away from Mudryk, and I am going to talk about a man, Conor Gallagher. Again, absolutely outstanding yesterday. Mate, I'm calling him General Gallagher. What a guy. What a performance yesterday. The guy was absolutely everywhere. You know, he's liked by Poch. It was liked by Tuchel. Postecoglou likes him. Southgate likes him. Lampard likes him. You know, there are reasons why Conor Gallagher is liked by so many managers because of the skill set that he possesses and because he's a good player. You know, he was man of the match last night. Another sensational performance. His numbers were fantastic last night. He just everything he does seems to be this season. It just seems to be going really well for him. He was brilliant last night, absolutely brilliant again. Him alongside Moises Caicedo in that pivot was a game changer. It was brilliant. He was fantastic last night. He really was. I mean, potentially, but look, there's still a long way to go on that. We could potentially do that, but I wouldn't be as confident on that front. That's a lot harder to win. Man of the match performance from Conor Gallagher, look, showing his quality. And do you know what? He's been our best midfield player this season. He's probably been our best player this season as well, obviously alongside Cole Palmer. But he's been superb. He's been absolutely superb. Yes, big up, mate. Why don't we play Gusto and Martz in the next game as wingbacks? Well, we could. Well, Gusto will play next game. I'm pretty certain of it. Martz, I don't think he will start. But yeah, look, as long as you've got one side where you've got an overlapping fullback with some threat, then at least it gives you options. That for me is the most important thing. Is to have those options. We need those options. So let's hope we get them. Do I think Martson should... look, I would start Martson as a left back, but I know that he won't. What else have we got? Gallagher he's been brilliant this season. Look at these numbers here. 142 touches last night. Completed 105 of his 115 passes, 91% pass accuracy, 6 ground duels won, completed all his long balls, won all his tackles that he met, 3 out of 3 tackles won, 3 out of 3 aerial duels won, completed 2 of 3 dribbles, 1 key pass. And what they missed off the bottom there was 1 fucking banging penalty in the shootout as well. That just added that on the bottom. I mean, every game that passes by, I tweeted it out last night after the game, every game that passes by makes more of a mockery of potentially people wanting, like, of the club wanting to sell Conor Gallagher. It literally makes 0 sense at all, other than a financial fair play get out of jail card. Every week that goes by, you know, every game that passes, it further proves why Chelsea should not sell Conor Gallagher. Exceptional last night. The guy was everywhere. The guy was absolutely everywhere. And fair play to him, you know. As I said, great penalty, fantastic performance. And he is he probably is one of our most important players. He is one of the first names on the team sheet for me, along with Cole Palmer. Those guys are probably two of the first names on the team sheet at this point in time. They absolutely are. It's fantastic what they're doing, what he's doing, and it just epitomizes him. Everything he's doing is brilliant. It really is. And the disrespect that he gets from certain people still. He was brilliant again tonight. People just don't understand how important this guy is for our team, how good he's been for our team. It's he's captaining the club. This is his team. He's doing fantastic. He's doing really, really well, and fair play to him for that, because it's not been an easy time for him at Chelsea. This ownership have tried to move him on in multiple different windows. He's been one of our best players this season. And it would be completely disrespectful if Chelsea even thought about getting rid of him. I was one of those people that says I wasn't sure if he could play in a pivot. We saw it under Thomas Tuchel, and it wasn't great, him playing in a pivot. It really wasn't. But these last two games, he's looked decent in a pivot. Him alongside Caicedo, and it's kind of funny because I don't know if this is coincidence or not, but Caicedo's probably two best games for Chelsea were the weekend against Sheffield United, and then obviously last night against Newcastle, and both of them have been alongside Conor Gallagher in midfield and not Enzo Fernandez. So yeah, it's an interesting one, people. It is an interesting one. That much is absolutely clear. It's an interesting one, but yeah, fantastic. What a player. He's doing so well for us this season. He's not a glamorous name or whatever. People like what he does on the pitch might not be the glamorous stuff. But I tell you what, a lot of teams, all successful teams, will have players like Conor Gallagher in them. Someone that's prepared, someone that gives 110%, someone that does all the hard yards, gets stuck in, covers all the ground, is always available. Do you know what? Giving 110% for the club, for the badge and the team, and being available 9 weeks out of 10. Those two things make up for any lack of ability or talent. For me, those things make that up. There's going to be players that are a lot more talented than Conor Gallagher. There absolutely are. There's definitely much better footballers than him. But what he lacks in perhaps talent and ability is made up for giving 110% on the pitch and doing all the hard yards and all the difficult work that players don't want to do. So phenomenal from him last night. Absolutely brilliant. Again, Conor Gallagher. He was fantastic. Really good last night. I'm really pleased with him, and hopefully, we come to some sort of resolution here, and this ownership and sporting directors don't decide to move this guy on, because it would be nonsense. It would be a disgraceful decision. I wouldn't be on board with it at all. In fact, I'd be positively raging about it. So, yeah, what a guy, Gallagher. Little round of applause for the skipper. Phenomenal. And do you know what it is, right? I know this is hindsight, but if no one would have had Conor Gallagher down as a captain choice before the season started. But he's not exactly a bad choice for captain, is he? Because he gets the club. He's always available. He's been one of our best players. I mean, I do find the selection of Reece James and Ben Chilwell, captain, vice captain, two players that can't stay fit for more than 3 games, a little bit of an odd decision to give those guys two prominent leadership roles in the team as captain and vice captain when they're just never available enough. And Gallagher, in hindsight now, you look at it and you think, well, Gallagher would have been a half decent captain choice. He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant this season, and I'm really, really delighted for him. Really delighted for him. And another reason, again, showing last night why he should not be sold. And yeah, I'm so pleased for him. Again, another great performance. So yeah, the Conor Gallagher, bandwagon. It's got more, I'm sure it's got more people jumping on it, and rightly so. Might only be standing room now on the Gallagher bandwagon for all those latecomers. But yeah, fantastic. Delighted for Gallagher again. Another brilliant performance from him. And do you know what as well? Moises Caicedo in midfield. Another guy. Again, this guy's skill set is so unique. We weren't wrong when saying, about his skill set. This is a unique player. Caicedo got booked, in the first minute or second minute or whatever. And then since then, he went on to complete 115 passes, created 2 opportunities, completed 3 long balls, won 3 tackles, made 1 interception, made 7 recoveries, won 7 duels, and won 3 fouls, which is outstanding, really. He's so good. He really is. Yeah, he's honestly a top player. A top player. And he's now starting to find his feet. And you know what? I think it was Wyn Stanley that might have said it. I think it might have been Paul Wyn Stanley that said it. In terms of, him possessing a skill set that no one else possesses in midfield. And I honestly think that could be true. He was phenomenal last night. He really was. And yeah, I'm delighted for him, because now Caicedo is starting to come into some good form. He's starting to come in. He's a top midfield player. And I do wonder if this is he starting to come into this good form because he's now finding his feet and getting a bit more used to how we're playing, or is this because we are playing what do you call it? We're he's not playing alongside Enzo Fernandez. Is that why he's suddenly becoming good now? I mean, I don't want to say, the only reason that he's doing well is because he's not playing alongside Enzo, because I think that's disingenuous and not true. But I think it's clear that, on the basis of the last 2 games, it seems to suit him a lot more playing alongside Conor Gallagher than it does playing alongside Enzo Fernandez. It's an interesting one. It really is. By the way, guys, we're on 60 likes. There's still 56 of you in the building. Keep smashing that like button, guys. Let's try and get this up to 70 likes if we can, guys. Let's try and get another 10. Come on, people. Keep smashing the like button. We've got loads more stuff to go through. We've got a bit of transfer news coming up as well. The latest on Reece James and his surgery. Chelsea signing another kid. It's all going on, guys. This is the place to be. So make sure you keep smashing that like button. Let's get more people tuning in, guys. Run it up to 70 likes. What else have we got here? I don't know what I'll next see, Todd, but yeah, I might pass that on. Yeah, look, to be fair, I'm more than happy as well. I didn't think Gallagher had this in him based on what we'd seen from him so far at Chelsea. I wasn't convinced that Gallagher had it in him, but he quite clearly does. Yeah, look, to be honest, it was refreshing last night with no VAR in terms of not having to worry about whether a goal's going to count or not. But if we're being brutally honest, there should have been 3 reds last night. Caicedo was arguably lucky to be on. Guimaraes should have been sent off for kicking out. And then there was a challenge from Gordon, which was poor as well. Gallagher, easily our best midfielder. I would say right now, on form this season, he is. All the academy boys will be sold without question. Do you know what it is, though? If they did sell Gallagher, it kind of makes you think that, if they do that, then who's to say that they wouldn't look at, selling Reece James, that they wouldn't look at selling Levi Colwell if we kind of if they're kind of running close again to the profit and sustainability rules. They'll be thinking, oh, maybe I'll cash in on them because it's pure profit. As I've been saying, we've got to move away from, using Cobham as pure profit just to cover up poor recruitment in the market. We do need to move away from doing that. It's as simple as that. We can't keep doing that. While being a good defensive midfielder, I noticed Caicedo has a good eye for a pass. Yeah, he absolutely is a unique player. There's a lot more to his game than just being a defensive midfield player. Our ownership only sees our academy prospects as profit. And then they'll if the Gallagher goes, they'll try and spin it as like, oh, he didn't want to go, he didn't want to sign a new deal and whatever. They'll try and spin that PR bullshit that they always do. And look, this won't be funding a striker. It'll try and get spun as funding a striker, but ultimately there's money to spend. You've got Chalobah who we can sell. We've got Martin who we can sell, which will go towards funding a striker. You get 50 million probably for the pair of them combined. So you don't need to sell Gallagher. You can raise that 50 million through those two players. Caicedo plays better alongside another hard tackling six. Enzo plays better in a settled team. Yeah, Enzo will definitely settle in for sure. I feel Poch is maybe utilising Enzo a little bit wrong as well. Yep, Lavia coming into this team for me, I think is going to be something that makes a massive difference. That for me, I think is going to make a big difference. Lavia coming into the side, I can't wait to see what he can potentially do and potentially come up with. But yeah, I am absolutely looking forward to seeing what these boys can do. Do I think Lavia will be back in the squad? Yeah, he will at some point, maybe this weekend. If not, probably Palace. Yeah, I would agree. That's all we can do. You know, try and win a trophy and get us European football. That ultimately is the target, people. He's not been offered anything. There's been nothing offered to sign. I don't think his salary expectations would be anything ridiculous or not. He wants to stay at Chelsea. It's as simple as that. You know, anything trying to say that he doesn't is just not true. He wants to stay at Chelsea. He's publicly said he wants to stay. Poch wants him to stay. So yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with sorting this out. And you can tell they don't want to sort it out. It's because they want to sell him. Yeah, I'm gonna dive into this Enzo stuff in a sec. Would these players that we buy like Paez? I don't know, because I don't know if you've got to be part of the academy for 2 years or I'll be honest, mate, I don't know how the rules work. They could be, you know, after 5 years, I think you become a citizen or something. So I'll be honest, mate, I don't really know how it works and if they'd be considered homegrown or not. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, Caicedo again coming into his own. And now that Gallagher and Caicedo, you know, are playing well, we just get Lavia back in the mix, and then let's start getting these other guys, you know, doing well. Let's get Enzo back to full fitness and playing well. There's a lot of things that we can do well, people. There's a lot of things, guys. A lot of things. So yeah, let's just kind of wait and see on that front, guys. Let's wait and see sort of what happens. But you know what? I'm confident that we can get something done, you know, with this midfield. It is looking good. It is looking good. But let's move away from that now, guys. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about a few other things. But ultimately, I think to round out on the game last night, we got what we deserved in the end. We made hard work of it like we always do. And this could be a bit of a turning point for the team, because I feel that, and maybe a turning point for Poch as well, because I feel that, you know, we were 2 minutes away from going out. If we'd gone out the cup, things could have taken a bit of a toxic turn and could have been hard to recover from. So this was massive to go through, absolutely huge. It's a cup we can absolutely win. And we got to go all guns blazing for this Carabao Cup. It's as simple as that. We'll find out tonight who we get in the draw, and then we move from there. Simple as that. I don't think he was awful last night. I mean, Breuer wasn't much better either. Obviously, Jackson come off. We know that he came off. I don't think he was awful last night. You know, yeah, he obviously it wasn't his best game, but I don't think he was dreadful at all. I really don't think he was dreadful. But yeah, again, he's going to be another one that, you know, he will improve steadily. He absolutely will. But yeah, let's see what happens with him. But yeah, the cup is really important. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Yeah, guys, almost at 70 likes. Come on, people. What are we on? Oh, it's gone down to 63. Surely people haven't unliked the video. Anyway, guys, 7 more likes to 70. Please keep smashing that like button. Let's keep running it up, guys. Let's do it. Come on. The problem is, no matter who we could bring in, every squad needs a... Yeah, exactly. All teams need players like Conor Gallagher. They absolutely do. There's no denying it, people. There is no denying it. Yeah, I'd like that for traveling purposes. That would be ideal. Another trip to the cottage. It's always good fun going to Craven Cottage. It's a good away end. I would certainly enjoy that. No, Bro is not better than Jackson. I honestly, guys, I've said it before. I don't think Bro will be here next season. That's my opinion on the matter. I don't think Bro will be here next season. Yeah, absolutely, he is. But yeah, guys, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, fantastic. Delighted with it. We'll find out tonight who we get, and this is a real opportunity to win a trophy. Massive opportunity to win a trophy, and also to get us into Europe. I really hope we can get to Wembley, and then in the final, it's, you know, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a final. But let's move away from that Carabao Cup stuff, and let's talk about a little bit of general Chelsea news. A quick update on Reece James and the surgery, because on Monday, apparently, we were meant to find out whether Reece was going for surgery or not. Nizar Kinsella, Evening Standards, provided a little update here. Reece James is undergoing more assessments on his hamstring injury today. So obviously, I presume those have happened by now, before a final decision is made on his recovery plan. Surgery is one option on the table. Hopefully, it's the best option. I don't know what the options are. I'm not a doctor, but for those asking, you know, when are we going to find out about Reece James, if he's having surgery or not? Hopefully this week, in the next few days, we'll find out whether Reece is going for the surgery or not. And we'll find out what his rehabilitation plan is, and maybe get a few more clear indications on potentially how long he might be out for. So that's just a quick update on Reece. Hopefully the surgery does happen, but only, of course, if it's the best course of action. If they think that's the best way to get him to recover, then let's do that. If they don't think it's the best way, let's go with another way and see what happens. Yeah, mate, I'm a big Mudryk fan as well. Massive Mudryk fan. Yes, big up, brother, mate. The third kit, this is one of my favorite ones. Do you know what? I haven't got a name or number on the back yet, but I'm thinking, you know, I'll wait to nearer the end of the season, but maybe a Gallagher or a Mudryk on the back of this one. Why not? Why not? I think Reece James should go get him. Well, look, whatever they advise, we're going to do, and hopefully it's the right thing to do. It's not as simple as that. It's a lot more complex than that. It's whatever, you know, they feel is the, you know, is the best course of action. And yeah, I don't think us as fans, we're not doctors, we're not medics. It's easy to say just get the surgery, but it's a lot more complicated than that. Yeah, potentially I would do. Yeah, potentially. No, we haven't played in the away kit this season. We've only played home and third kit. There's a chance we might wear the away kit at Wolves for the first time, purely because we wore our away kit at Wolves last year, even though there's no kit clash. So yeah, I think there's an opportunity this weekend. We could well wear the third kit, but I wouldn't bank on it. The second kit, sorry. We need to stop under 25 age process announcements. We need to get experience. Yeah, look, experience for sure. These next 2 windows, experience in January, if we can get it, is going to be absolutely crucial. But yeah, that's just the little update on Reece James. Yeah, if Reece probably missed the Euros if he gets surgery, there's a chance he misses the Euros anyway. Just because he's barely played, and I don't know if he'd get into the squad or not based on his current form. But yeah, we'll find out what the best options are for Reece James. So let's move away from the Reece James news and let's move on to I want to talk about Enzo Fernandez, because apparently reports coming out from Argentina are suggesting he's suffering with the early stages Poch was saying that, he felt sick before the game. He didn't feel so well. When he started to play, it didn't go well. That's why he asked to go out. We hope it's not a big thing. But apparently there's reports in Argentina suggesting that Enzo Fernandez might have a bit more of a serious problem. Let me just bring this up on the screen now. Again, I don't know how true this is. I'm not saying people have made this. This has been made up because it would be a weird thing to make up. But this I'm going to bring up on the screen now is from Gaston Adul, who is I think he's an Argentinian journalist. I've seen his name around a few things. He was good on the Enzo transfer. Confirmed, Enzo Fernandez is suffering from the early stages of pubalgia, if that's how you say it. I don't know what that is. A chronic groin injury. The recovery involves either rest or treatment to alleviate discomfort during play and prevent its impact. Now, apparently, it doesn't have a cure. It's a chronic injury, so you never know when you will feel pain or not. So, yeah, that doesn't sound great. Again, it's not been confirmed by the club. It's not been confirmed by any more reliable sources. I've got no reason to suggest why, this would be made up and incorrect. This information has obviously come from somewhere. And it kind of does make a bit of sense. Enzo's has not looked right this season. He's not looked right. I felt for a while now he's looked tired. He's not looked on it. He's pretty much has played non-stop for the last 2 years, in River Plate, then with Benfica, then all the games of Argentina, playing pretty much every game for Chelsea. He has played pretty much non-stop, with a World Cup, with a Copa America and all that stuff in between. This would make sense. He's not been at his best. He has struggled at times this season. And it has looked like something's kind of holding him back. He's not seen himself. So this does kind of make sense. And it's one of those things that where people need to understand, that there's always more than meets the eye. People are so quick to make judgments on players, without having all the facts and taking things into consideration. With Enzo Fernandez, this is one of them. It's a tough one. It's a shame. There's no two ways about it. It's not ideal. But here we are. Here we are. So yeah. I just don't know. Look, this could be a problem for sure. But you know what? It might not be the worst thing in the world if Enzo is out for a few weeks. I feel like he needs a rest. He needs a proper time to regroup and kind of go again, as it were. But guys, 74 likes, 62 in the building still. Let's get this to 80 likes. Come on, guys. No excuses not to get this to 80 likes. Let's get it done, guys. Let's get it done. Run this up to 80 likes, people. It's been a good stream so far. We've got a few more bits to go through. Yeah, I think there's something similar with Mount. I think Mount was suffering sort of an issue with his pubic bone, which, groin, pubic bone, kind of same area. I don't know if it's exactly the same thing, but Mount's suffering with a similar kind of issue. I don't think it's any surprise because Mount, like Enzo, was playing like every game for club and country for pretty much 2 years, international tournaments, no proper rest or anything. I would disagree with this because, they do thorough medical checks. And if that was there at the time, it would have been flagged. Now, if it was flagged and we still chose to sign him, fine. But if it's something that's developed whilst he's been here, then it's unlucky and there's not much you can do. It doesn't mean that he can't play. It just means that obviously he might not be available to play every time. You don't know when the pain's going to come in, how painful it is, whether it stops you from playing. And again, we don't know if this is 100% true either. But yeah, it is one of them. It's crazy to think, but we need a lot more players than we think. Look, I'd agree an elite goalkeeper. It's not a priority right now. Striker, yes. Centre back, yes. Maybe one more fullback. I don't think we need a left and a right back. I'll be brutally honest. I don't think we need all that. But yeah, must win at Wolves. Let's see what injury list says on Friday. Yep. Oh, he's been ill. So, like, I imagine he'll be available. I don't really know. Yeah, no, we absolutely did. Yes, it's a different team, but yeah, he certainly looked a lot more. He certainly looked a lot more comfortable. I've got no idea. No idea. Look, I mean, I'd hope he's feeling a bit unwell, but would you really be crying? Would you really be in tears on the pitch at full time if you were just feeling a bit sick? You know, we won. He doesn't look happy. So yeah, something's not right with Enzo at the moment. And you know, this makes sense. I'm not saying it's definitely true, but if this makes sense. But if it is true, then it's a bit more of a serious issue than I think even we expected. Brother Smith Rowe is not good enough. No chance. We got Cole Palmer much better. We don't need to replace Enzo. Enzo's a phenomenal player. Do I think Poch is using him in the right way? No. Does the system suit Enzo? No, I don't think it suits him particularly well. But yeah, look, this is the situation we're in right now. Again, mate, this could be a reason because we started the season like this. It wasn't working. We then switched and it was clear that it was much better. And now in the last few games, we've switched back. Maybe this is why, because it requires less running, as you say, playing higher up. It's not as intense as playing in the pivot or whatever in central midfield. Maybe that's why that was taking place. It's a possibility, and it's definitely kind of a genuine answer potentially. Yeah, guys, the freeloading is illegal, people. Have we hit 80 likes yet? No, we haven't. We need 4 more. Come on, guys, 4 more. 4 more likes. Let's do it. Yeah, he has. He's been playing non-stop. Yeah, but they said he felt ill. He could have felt ill, sure. But apparently Badiashile felt ill as well. But I think he could have felt ill. And then we also have, what do you call it? Ill, kind of perhaps not feeling great. But on top of this, potential pubic issue, pubalgia, whatever it's called, if I'm pronouncing that right. This would make sense. Let's wait and see. We're going to have to wait for more developments on this one. But I certainly... I wouldn't be ruling that one out for sure. I really wouldn't be ruling that out. But let's move away from the Enzo Fernandez stuff. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Hopefully it's not this. We don't want to be trying to manage a serious problem with Enzo. We don't want it affecting his football. But ultimately, you know, let's wait and see what it is, whether this is true or not. You know, can it be? Because we found it early. Can we like make it not? You know, make it not be as bad or whatever. I don't really know the answers to that, but let's hope that it's good. But it would be strange, you know, if it ended to be in tears at full time if he's not feeling well, having gone through. I think it's a bit more serious than that. I don't think I'd start him on Sunday. If I'm being honest, I'm not starting him on Sunday, in my opinion, based on this. But let's wait for more information to come out and see what does happen. But let's move away from the Enzo Fernandez stuff. And it wouldn't be Chelsea. It wouldn't be a stream about Chelsea without signing another kid. We had Kendry Paez at Stamford Bridge in attendance last night, and there was also someone else there with him. Chelsea are closing in on a deal to sign Senegal under-17 midfielder Papa Daouda Diong from AF Darussalam. Deal almost done. He was pictured at Stamford Bridge yesterday with close to Kendry Paez. Born in 2006, De Jong will be able to join in June 24 when he turns 18. So he'd be able to join in the summer. Yeah. Another one. No fucking idea who this geezer is. I don't think anyone would have heard of him. It's clearly one for the future. It is what it is. You know, I don't really have too many comments on this other than this guy may never play for this club. You know, yeah, could well be similar, but again, Ugochukwu was a bit further in his development. But yeah, it's another potential young midfield player. We've already got Casadei, we've got Andre Santos, we've got Ugochukwu. Like, I don't really know. I don't really know. But yeah, obviously we are. This is where we're at. You know, we are here. Another, you know, he's under 17 midfielder, so he must be what, 17? I think he's clearly 17. If he can join in the summer, he must be 17 now. Maybe 18. I don't really know. But yeah, obviously, seems like we are. He was at the bridge last night in the box, so yeah, that must be the case. That must be the case. Kendry is class, though, hanging with the big dogs. Yeah, no, he is very good. He's very good. 16 years of age, already a full Ecuadorian international. Fantastic. But what I would say about him as well is that, you know, yes, he's playing in the Ecuadorian league. That's completely different to the Premier League. I think when Paez eventually comes over, in 2025, I wouldn't be surprised if he went straight out on loan to a Strasbourg or a top 5 league somewhere, because he needs to go and experience football in Europe. I just can't envisage him coming straight into the Premier League and making an impact, having only played in Ecuador. I just don't see that. I just don't think that would be best for his development. But look, I could be totally wrong on that. Yeah, this is it. We don't know. I don't like to speculate, but yeah, I think there's more than meets the eye on this. Basically, it's the equivalent of constantly tearing your hamstring and not having a real time frame for recovery. Small tears heal faster, larger tears heal slower. Fair. I don't know anything about it, but yeah. Another win-win offer for the young Senegalese boy. Make it at Chelsea or move somewhere else. Yeah, I expect he'll go to Strasbourg on loan. That seems pretty par for the course, I'd imagine. Caicedo came, and I think Caicedo spent a season in the Brighton under-23s. I don't know if he went on loan or not, but he certainly spent time in the development sides at Brighton. So yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, this Papa or Pap Diong from Senegal, from AF Darussalam, deal's nearly done. He'll be joining Chelsea in June 2024 when he turns 18. Let's see what the plan is for him. But it's another young player. I just hope that, please just sign some experience as well, guys. Please sign some experience. If therapy and rest fails to allow Enzo to return to activity, likely he will need surgery and may be out for over 2 months. Fair. I mean, where have you seen that? Is that just through research, or is that something that's come out recently? What is that? I don't know what that is. So let's have a look. Where have you? Let me know where you've seen that, mate, because I don't know where that's been. Or is that a Google thing? No idea. No details of the deal have come out yet. I can't imagine he would have cost an absolute fortune, but with the money being paid for teenagers now, it's a madness. It is a madness. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if Enzo needs that and he's out for 2 months, he's out for 2 months. You know, that's the reality. So be it. So be it. Look, as long as I don't care too much about these young signings, as long as if in this window we add some experience. I know full well that half these guys that are being signed aren't going to play for the Chelsea first team and they're just going to be flipped for a profit. I'm fully aware of that. But just sign some experience, please. Just sign some experience. That's all I ask for. Guys, 2 more likes. Come on, 2 more likes to 80. Let's get this done. Run it up, people. Run it up. Give players Pochettino, he wants experience. Yep. Yeah, the bench at the moment's not good with our injuries that we've got and players out. We need more. We need more from the bench. at this point in time. Come on, guys. Keep smashing that like button. We're almost at 80 likes. Poch is calling out for experience. Do we get that in January? I think in January we sign 2, maybe 3 players. For the first team, 2 or 3. And then fuck knows how many youngsters. There could be there could be the same again with like Brazilian kids or African kids or whatever it might be. I'd expect for the actual first team, I would expect maybe 2 to 3 signings. The first option is rest and PT, which takes around 6 weeks. If that fails, surgery will be needed for a longer term solution. Fair. Well, let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see if it's true that he's got this or whatever. But yeah, certainly doesn't look great for Enzo Fernandez at this point in time. Also, other news we've had on Trevor Chalobah is that apparently Roma, according to Sky Italia, Roma have made an approach for Chalobah. They made a formal request to loan him for the rest of the season. Now, I don't think that makes sense for Chelsea. We're trying to raise money to sign players in January, and Chalobah, we want to sell him. I understand Roma probably haven't got the finances to probably afford him, but AS Roma have made a loan request to Chelsea for Trevor Chalobah when the January window opens. I don't think this for me is not really a goer. I don't like it. We want to sell him. He's clearly surplus to requirements. We need to raise money in January to fund some signings. We're not just going to, send one of our most sellable assets on loan and not recuperate any money for him. It doesn't make sense. Italian teams and their loans. Roma probably could put some money on the table, but you know what it's like with Italian teams, guys. They just they'll do whatever they can to try and cheapskate their way, to a deal. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense. Yeah, but no, not sending someone on loan. I thought we'd maxed out our loans as well, but maybe because he's a homegrown player at different rules, I don't really know. All 7 of our international loan spots are taken up. I don't know if the rules change in the new year or something. I've got no idea, but that is a good point. All 7 of our international loans are currently taken up. So I don't know. Do Roma know something that we don't know? I don't get it. It's because it's because he hasn't started. I don't know why. I think it's I don't know why he's trending. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But I'm just going to round out, guys. I mean, there's not too much more to say on that Chalobah one. Doesn't really make sense. Madrid need a centre half. I think Madrid would maybe more look at bringing someone in on loan. Fofana's coming back. Yeah, at some point he will be. Yeah. Just reading it for Enzo. Surgery may not be the end all be all. With Mudryk can still tear post surgery. Fair. Yeah, it's that's not a great situation to be in. That much is absolutely clear. Roma offer loan with meal deal option to buy. Yeah, fucking hell. No, we have got a medical team. I think it's tricky, isn't it? Yeah, the Chalobah things is a shame. I can't lie. It is definitely a shame. It is what it is. Ultimately, for as good as he's been for us, I'll be real. The centre backs we've got now are better than him. It's just the way it goes. I don't want to use a Graham Potter phrase, but that's life. Unfortunately, the guys ahead of him in the pecking order are better than him, and he needs to go and play football. So sadly, that's not going to happen on a regular basis at Chelsea. So he needs to go and play. But yeah, it's a shame it's had to end the way it's ended. That much is clear. But on the Ivan Toney front, people, I'm just going to start with a Ben Jacobs put a tweet out earlier with this little update on Ivan Toney. We're just going to round out with this Ivan Toney news, guys. Situation with, let me just bring this up on the screen now. Ben Jacobs always giving great updates. Situation with Ivan Toney remains the same as reported in November. He would welcome an Arsenal offer. The Chelsea recruitment team are divided on whether to move. Toney is on the list of options, but not necessarily top of it as it stands. Brentford's technical director Lee Dykes said recently, maybe the time comes very shortly that Ivan moves on to another club, adding a decent transfer fee as required, believed to be 80 million plus. That's kind of mad. It's clear for me that Toney wants to join Arsenal, in my opinion. But if Arsenal, who we know have got financial issues in terms of, not being able to get themselves together with a big fee for Toney, then if we can swoop in, I think Toney would be open to a move. But I think if he has a choice, he would rather join Arsenal. I think for someone that's 27, 28 years of age next year, it's going to be the big move in his career. He's not got the years in the tank that these younger players have to come and join Chelsea and wait for us to become good. So if Arsenal put an offer on the table for someone of his age, it's a much more attractive proposition, and it's a better thing to go and join at this point in his career because they are already competing, whereas we aren't. But there's also something from Simon Phillips on the Ivan Toney situation. And apparently, Chelsea are unsure about paying Ivan Toney's big signing on fee, which has led to intensive scouting of Victor Gyökeres, who could now become a real option. Gyökeres again has got a €100 million release clause, £62.5 million from Sporting Lisbon. He's only been there 6 months. He's been playing for Coventry in the Championship. He had a good season in the Championship last season. Got his move to Sporting Lisbon. He's had a very good start to the season, but £62.5 million for someone has spent 6 months in fucking the Portuguese league. That's not the answer. Yes, he's in sort of the right age group and whatnot, but that's not the answer. Like for me, Gyökeres, if we're going to go down the route of someone like a Gyökeres, as Son of Rivers said in the chat, I'd rather go Santiago Jimenez. Like that for me makes more sense than signing Victor Gyökeres. I need to see. Gyökeres needs more time at Sporting Lisbon. You can't be making a decision to sign someone, a rash decision, off them being good for 6 months at Sporting Lisbon. Well, what does that prove? That doesn't really prove anything. Any player can be good for 6 months. Anyone can be good for a season. You need to do it for multiple seasons, and I'm just not sure that we're getting that at the moment. I just don't know. I just think the striker situation in January is going to be really tough. I don't see an Osimhen coming in January, and Ivan Toney, like they're still a split in the recruitment team about whether Chelsea should go for him or not. And other than that, I don't want to be spending €100 million on a Victor Gyökeres, and I don't think Santiago Jimenez is the right answer. We're looking for someone to come in and make an immediate impact now, and those two don't tick that box. Osimhen and Toney tick that box, but I can't see us getting it. There's the Eredivisie. Yeah, he's done well in Champions League as well, to be fair. Jimenez looks like a decent prospect, but again, not experienced people. For me, it's Osimhen or nothing. Look, we need a striker, but I'd rather wait till the summer rather than just signing a striker in January for the sake of it. But if the right guy becomes available, if a deal can be done, then let's try and do something. So how much is Toney's signing on fee? I've got no idea how much Toney's signing on fee would be. Gyökeres' release clause is €100 million. Yeah, fuck knows what the signing on fee is. Yeah, true. But for me, Toney's the no-brainer. We should be throwing everything we can at that. We really should, in my mind, be throwing everything we can at the Ivan Toney situation. Would you just play Nkunku up top for a whole season? Well, it wouldn't be whole season. It would be half a season, wouldn't it? You wait till the summer. Maybe. I think Ivan Toney, if Arsenal get themselves together financially, even if we put an offer together, I still think that Toney would pick Arsenal if those two offers are on the table. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. For £15 million more, you could have Ivan Toney, but we'd potentially rather go for Gyökeres. I don't get it. Make it make sense. But that's kind of the situation and where we're at right now. I'll be honest, guys, Victor Gyökeres sounding like it could be more and more of a possibility in January. Ivan Toney, I think it's clear now that he'd prefer Arsenal. I don't think he'd say no to Chelsea, but I think if he has a choice, he would rather go to Arsenal. But yeah, I think that seems like a good point to round this one out. Well, that's 112 million pounds. I mean, basically, you paid about 50 million quid more. No, but one's euros, mate. 100 million euros is Gyökeres, whereas Osimhen's is 112 million pounds. The euros release clause is 130 million versus 100 million euros. So 30 million euros more, you get Osimhen. We kind of did it with Jackson. He had an 11 or so game hot streak. Yeah, and I think also as well, the World Cup with Enzo Fernandez, I'm not saying we wouldn't have signed him, but I think that accelerated our desire to sign him because of how good a tournament he had. I'm not saying we weren't interested in him before, but that certainly accelerated our interest in him. And I think if we'd left it to the summer, we wouldn't have got him, and he would have ended up somewhere else in the summer. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out now. Big up to everyone that's joined in. Thank you so much for your support tonight. Thanks for all those donations and the super chats. They are greatly appreciated. Big yourselves up, guys. Make sure on the way out, people, you keep running the likes up. We're on 85 likes. Let's try and get to 90 likes on the way out, guys. Keep smashing that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Big yourselves up, guys. Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. We'll find out our fate tonight, who we are facing in those semi-finals. And then we move on to Wolves on Sunday. The transfer window's drawing close. But guys, big yourselves up. Great stream tonight. Enjoyed it. Thanks for all the support as always. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will catch you guys again tomorrow. I've got a Wolves preview dropping with Talking Wolves. So make sure you tune in for that one. Otherwise, guys, take care. Enjoy your evening. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you again soon. Up the Chelsea, people.